One of the best and quickest way to learn secure programming is by seeing examples of insecure code and try to fix them. And this is what we made it possible in SecDim Play. SecDim Play is a novel secure programming or secure infrastructure learning game. It has a collection of security puzzles or challenges. Every challenge is a program or infrastructure code with a security bug, a vulnerability, or insecure configuration. Our goal as a player is to find the security issue, fix it, and we get a score for the challenge. Every challenge is a containerized app or a program. The Git repository or the source code of this app will be given to us. We would be able to write and read and push code to this repository. We can explore the content of this repository either in the browser, edit the file and save our changes, or we can clone the repository locally or run the app locally, test it, debug it, and then push our changes. Anytime we save or push the code, the server will run a number of tests against our code. If these tests pass, we will be given the score of the challenge. Let's go through one example together. Go to Go, select introduction.go. This is an example of one challenge. The challenge has a duration of 1 hour, and we can try this challenge 10 times. Anytime this 1 hour ends, we have one more try unless this counter goes to 0. Hit play. Let's do this. And we are now in the game mode. We can read the README or the guide for this challenge here. There's a timer up here that is ticking. And here is the source and all the files for this challenge. Open up the source directory. Here we're gonna spend our most time. We will find the main code app.go, the two tests, usability test and security test. These tests are like a specification for the program. These tests will check if the program behaves in the way that we expect. We also have go.mod and go.sum, which effectively are the dependencies for this program. We have divided the tests into two files. One is usability or functionality, and the other one are security tests. Usability test always will pass anytime we have been given the repository, while the security test will not. The interesting part about security tests are that these are the examples of the attacker's payload, the things that an attacker will run against our code to exploit the program. So effectively, they will guide us to firstly find the security issue, and secondly, they will guide us how to fix the program or what the program should return to effectively address that security problem. So without giving you any explanation of the title of the security issue or any description, you have an example of what an attacker or adversary can run against your code and how the program should behave. Now, before I dive into the code, I also want to mention that those tests that runs against your app anytime you push or save the code are similar to these usability and security tests that you have. In trivial challenges, we have been given all the security tests in our local repository so we can see them, we can change the main code to address those. While in the harder challenges, some of the security tests will not be given in our local repository, but anytime we push the code, security tests will be run against our code. And there is no point to change the tests. The goal at every challenge is to change the main code, and in this case, like app.go. These tests will be overwritten anytime the server testing will be executed. So let's go to the app.go. Just review this program. It's a basic Go program. It's using Echo framework. It's a basic framework that gives us ability to create web APIs or web apps. Now we can see here is that it will on the root, like anytime we send a request to the root, it will call this function root, and this function will return with the HTTP status OK with the string hello in the HTTP response body. One last thing we should make a note of is that we can import from existing packages, so the things that I have shown you in the go.mod file. However, we cannot install new packages to address the security bug. The goal is we use our own solution given the existing packages. Now with that, let's go and have a look at the usability tests. Now we have two tests function here. The first function, it will send a request to the root and expect to get 200 back. Now we can see here we make a call to root, and in this assertion on the bottom, it will check the response status code and it expects to get a status OK, 200. And in the second test, we have the same request to the root. We expect to get HTTP status OK as a HTTP response status. And also we expect that the response or HTTP response body contain the word hello. How we can run a test? Well, let's just go back and make a random change to the main file. Hit edit here. And I'm just adding a comment here just to make a change. And scroll down, hit commit and test. Now the changes that I have just done was saved in the remote repository, the private repository that I have. And now as we can see, the server testing has started. It will go through a number of stages, clone, initialization, and testing. It will first start testing the app against some usability or functionality tests. Anytime those usability or functionality tests pass, it will continue running the security test against our program. Now I can see here that, well, both the usability test has passed, but in the security test stage, as we can see, this test failed. Now let's have a look at the security test. This test is just a single test here. It sends a request to the root, but in the response, it expects to receive SecDim. I should have mentioned that this challenge is an introduction challenge and there is no security bug within this challenge. The goal of this challenge is to make us familiar how to use SecDim play. So let's go back to our main code and make the change to the response, edit, and here I will add SecDim, commit and test, and I expect this time all these tests to pass. Now while this test is running here, you can see a table of all my previous commits and with their status, so I can even review their status. Let's open this up. Usability tests are running, following with security tests. But this time around, usability tests passed and also the security test, and we have successfully solved the challenge. Now, as I mentioned, you can run the challenges locally, test them and push the code to get a full experience how to debug the security challenges. This will be something that I will cover in the next guide.